In 2013, the death of Elisa Lam in a water tank at the infamous Cecil Hotel shook Los Angeles. Nobody knows how she died, or how her body ended up there. The 21-year-old Canadian college student was last seen on January 31, 2013, at the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles. However, the extremely disturbing hotel surveillance footage that captured the odd final moments before her disappearance, let alone the other facts that have surfaced since, have raised more questions than answers. Her terrible death has remained a mystery since her body was discovered in the hotel's water tank on February 19th. Despite the fact that her death was considered an accidental drowning by the coroner's office, the peculiar aspects of Lam's case have sparked widespread debate about what really happened. Internet sleuths have come up with a considerable amount of hypotheses concerning the tragedy, ranging from murder plots to demonic possession. But when it comes to Elisa Lam's mysterious death, where does the truth lie? Elisa Lam's disappearance. Elisa Lam arrived in Los Angeles January 26, 2013. She had just arrived in Santa Cruz by Amtrak train from San Diego as part of her solo trek throughout the West Coast. The trip was meant to be a break from her studies at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, where she grew up. Her family was concerned about her traveling alone, but the young student was determined to do so. As a compromise, Lam made it a point to contact her parents every day of the vacation to assure them that she was safe. And that's why her parents were taken aback when they didn't hear back from her on January 31st, the very day that she was supposed to check out of that hotel. After a while, the Lams contacted the Los Angeles Police Department. The police investigated the Cecil's property but were unable to locate her. On their website, police quickly posted CCTV footage from the Cecil Hotel's cameras. This is where things started to get a little strange. On the day of her disappearance, a hotel video captured Elisa Lam acting oddly in one of the hotel's elevators. Lam can be seen walking inside the elevator and pressing all of the floor buttons in the pixelated clip. She enters and exits the elevator, her head jutting out sideways towards the hotel's corridors in between. She takes a couple of more steps out of the elevator after peering out just a few more times. And the video ends with Lam standing near the left side of the door, making random signals with her hands. Except for Lam, no one else was caught on camera. The bizarre video sparked outrage across the globe, including Canada and China, where Lam's family comes from. Tens of millions of people have watched Lam's bizarre elevator episode, which lasted a whole 4 minutes. The body's unintentional discovery. Hotel guests of the Cecil Hotel complained about low water pressure and strange-tasting tap water beginning on February 19th, 2 weeks after officials had released the footage. When Santiago Lopez went to check the Cecil Hotel's rooftop to inspect, he saw Elisa Lam's lifeless body floating in one of the tanks. Nobody knows how Elisa's body wound up in the hotel water tank, floating lifeless next to the exact same clothes she wore in the CCTV video, or who else might have been involved. Elisa was always seen alone around the hotel grounds, according to employees. However, Lam was seen by at least one person just before her death. Katie Orphan, the proprietor of a neighborhood bookstore called The Last Bookstore, was one of the last people to see Elisa Lam alive. Orphan remembers the college student in Vancouver buying books and music for her family. Orphan told CBS LA that it sounded like Elisa had intentions to return home, had planned to deliver stuff to her family members and reunite with them. When the autopsy results in Lam's case were released, it only added to the confusion. Lam had consumed a number of medicines, most likely prescribed medication for her bipolar disorder, according to the toxicology report. Her body, however, showed no signs of alcohol or illegal substances. Amateur sleuths began going through any evidence they could acquire soon after the toxicology report was released, in the hopes of unraveling the mystery surrounding Elisa Lam's death. A Reddit sleuth with a clear interest in medicine, for example, uploaded a summary of Lam's toxicology report online. 3 significant observations emerged from the analysis. 1. Lam had taken at least one antidepressant on that day. 2. Lam had recently taken her second antidepressant and mood stabilizer, but not on that day. And 3rd, Lam had not recently taken her antipsychotic. These findings revealed that Lam, who was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression, was not adequately taking her medication. It is an essential fact to keep in mind because using antidepressants to treat bipolar disorder can lead to manic side effects if done improperly. This tidbit has piqued the interest of several sleuths, who have speculated it could be the cause of Lam's unusual conduct in the elevator. Amy Price, the hotel manager at the time, testified in court in favor of this notion. Price said Lam had originally booked in a hostel-style shared room with others during her stay at the Cecil Hotel. Elisa was relocated to a private room by herself after her housemates complained about her strange conduct. But even if Elisa Lam had been suffering from mental illness, how did she die? How did she end up in the hotel's water tank? The evidence that was analyzed during the autopsy revealed no evidence of foul play. However, the coroner's office stated that they were unable to conduct a thorough study since the blood from Lam's decomposing body could not be properly examined. And now for the final question. Who is to blame for Elisa Lam's death? Several months after their daughter's death, David and Yina Lam filed a wrongful death action against the Cecil Hotel. They stated that the hotel had a duty to inspect and seek out risks in the hotel that constituted an undue risk of danger to their daughter and other hotel guests, according to the Lamb's attorney. The hotel fought back by filing a move to dismiss the lawsuit. The hotel's lawyer claimed that there was no reason to believe that someone could gain access to one of their water tanks. The hotel's explanation isn't wholly implausible, according to court testimony from the hotel's maintenance personnel. The first person to uncover Lam's body, Santiago Lopez, detailed the amount of work he had to put in just to be able to even find her. Lopez claimed to have taken the hotel's elevator to the 15th floor before ascending the stairwell to the roof. He then had to switch off the rooftop alarm and walk onto the platform that housed the hotel's 4 water tanks. To get to the top of the main tank, he had to ascend yet another ladder. After all of that, he saw something strange. According to Lopez, I saw the entrance to the main water tank was open and looked inside and saw an Asian woman lying face up in the water, about 12 inches from the top of the tank. According to his evidence, getting to the top of the water tank on her own would have been nearly impossible for Elisa Lam, at the very least, without being noticed. Pedro Tovar, the hotel's chief engineer, also stated that accessing the rooftop, where the hotel's water tanks are located, without setting off the alarms, would be nearly impossible. Only hotel staff would be able to properly deactivate the alarm, and the sound of the alarm would reach the front desk, as well as the entire top 2 floors of the hotel if it had been triggered. The lawsuit was dismissed after Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Howard Halm decided that Elisa Lam's death was unforeseeable since it occurred in an area that guests are not permitted to enter. While the mystery behind Elisa Lam's death has remained unsolved, the fixation around it has persisted in the public mind ever since. What happened to her, in your opinion? Was her death a result of an accident or a premeditated murder? And do you have any possible explanation for the creepy surveillance footage? As for the rest of us, I guess we'll never know. Let us know what you think about this strange case of Elisa Lam's mysterious death. And as always, thanks for watching.